Many years ago, there lived a girl named Ego. She was the only child of her parents. Her father was a palm wine tapper, while her mother was a farmer. Her parents loved her so much and provided everything she ever needed. Ego was different from all the children in the village. She mostly liked staying indoors and would refuse to play with her mates. A lot of people found her weird, but she was just an introvert who enjoyed exploring new things on her own. Ego was a very obedient child, and she loved and respected her parents and did all that they ever asked. A lot of people advised her father to take a second wife so he could bear more children. But Ego's father refused because of the love he shared with her mother. One day, an unfortunate incident happened and Ego's parents mysteriously died. Her father fell from the palm tree while her mother was bitten by a snake in the farm. This news shook the villagers, and poor Ego became an orphan. Ego was in a state of shock all through, and she was unable to talk or cry. The villagers found it weird and started talking about her. After some days, her uncle called a village meeting and told everyone that he had just visited a witch doctor, and he was told that Ego was a witch and she was responsible for her parents' death. When the villagers heard this, they began to murmur, and they agreed with him because Ego never cried when her parents died. Ego was summoned and she was asked to confess, but Ego only told them that she had nothing to do with her parents' death. The villagers disagreed and started calling her a witch. Ego was so sad and she started to cry because there was no one to defend her. Her uncle sent her out of her parents' house, and the villagers forbade her from coming close to them. Ego had to pick up her pieces. She took some of her things and began to wander about in the village, looking for food and shelter, but no one was willing to help her. She wandered for a long time until she found an abandoned old hut at the outskirts of the village. Ego repaired the hut and she began to live there. Whenever she went to the village square to beg for food, the people would start to throw dirt at her. Ego was heartbroken and she decided to remain in her lonely hut. She planted some food beside it and fetched water from the stream close by. No one ever came to visit her, and she got used to being alone. One day, as she was about to fetch water from the stream, she came across a badly injured man drenched in his own blood. Ego was scared, and she wondered how the man got there. She quietly looked around to see if there were unfamiliar faces around, but she couldn't find anyone. Ego called out for help, but as usual, she was alone. She went close to the man and found out that he was still breathing. She dragged him to her hut and immediately went into the bush to get herbs for him to drink. And when he was done drinking the herbs, she took some water and cleaned him up and lit her lamp and placed it beside him to keep him warm. She prayed for nothing bad to happen to him, as she would be held responsible, especially given her circumstances. She waited for the stranger to wake up so he could tell her who he was and where he was from, but he didn't. Ego was so worried and she couldn't sleep, and so she began to sing for the stranger with her melodious voice. But still, the stranger did not wake up. The next day, Ego went into the bush to get fresh herbs for the stranger, And when she returned, she found out that he was awake. Ego gave him the herbs and some food to eat, and patiently waited for him to regain his strength before asking him all that she needed to know. After a while, Ego asked the stranger who he was and where he was from. And the stranger told him that his name was Ikenna and he was from Umunede. Ego continued to give him food and shelter, and he began to heal, and his wounds started closing up. Ego took good care of Ikenna, and Ikenna grew fond of her and admired the way she cared for him, even when she didn't know him. And Ego too was happy because she now had a friend to talk to. Unknown to Ego, Ikenna was a prince from Umunede and the only son of King Ikemba. He was on his way to his mother's village, and he was dressed like a commoner so as to be free from the duties and responsibilities of a prince, as he had always wanted to have the privilege of a commoner. But unfortunately for him, he was attacked on his way by armed robbers, and his belongings were stolen. He was badly injured, and he struggled to get water from the closest river when he lost balance and fell into the water. The water current carried him away, and he found himself in Ego's village. When the news of Prince Ikenna's disappearance got to King Ikemba, he organized a search party within and outside Umunede. He sent a message of the prince's disappearance to all the villages, including Ego's village, and placed a reward for whosoever that finds the prince. A lot of people were in lookout for the prince, and no one expected him to be with Ego, and so they never searched for him there. Ego and Ikenna became very close to each other, and their feelings grew each day, to the extent Ikenna remained with her even when he had recovered. He asked Ego why she was alone, and Ego told him everything that happened, and Ikenna promised to get her life back. One day, when some maidens were going to the stream to fetch water, they saw a man in front of Ego's hut, and so they went into the village to gossip about it. "She is a witch. She must have bewitched the young man," some said, while others guessed he must be the missing prince and he was being kidnapped by Ego. So the villagers marched to Ego's hut and took Prince Ikenna and Ego to the palace. When they got there, the king immediately recognized Prince Ikenna and ordered the arrest of Ego, and immediately sent a message to King Ikemba that his son had been found. Prince Ikenna begged for Ego to be released, but the villagers insisted she was a witch and a danger to the village. When King Ikemba came, he was so happy to see his son, and he asked him what happened. And Prince Ikenna told him everything, including how Ego saved his life and took care of him till he was fully recovered. And King Ikemba was amazed at how kind Ego was. Prince Ikenna begged his father to release Ego, and that she was innocent of what she was being accused of. Ego was summoned by the king to the shrine to swear her innocence. If she is a witch, she would die. But if she is innocent, whosoever that was responsible for her parents' death would die, and her image will be restored. Ego did as they instructed, but nothing happened to her. And her uncle, who accused her of being a witch, immediately started confessing to killing her parents, because he wanted to take over Ego's father's properties. When the villagers heard this, They were shocked and started begging Ego for forgiveness. Few moments later, her uncle died. Ego forgave them, and she was admired for saving the prince's life. Few weeks later, Ego and Prince Ikenna got married, and she became the princess of Umunede. This is the end of this story. Thank you for listening to this story. If you want us to make more videos, hit on the like and subscribe button below and comment which country you are watching from. We love and appreciate you. Bye.